Chlorine washed chicken. That doesn't even sound good. Like, what do you want for dinner tonight? Well, I got a hankering for some chlorine washed chicken. That's what I want. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing another food related one. This one's going to be foods that are banned in Europe, but not the USA. The original channel is called Top Trends. Links to the original video will be in the description section down below.
Just before we get started, some of you might know that I have another channel called Mega Projects, which is all about mega projects. If you don't subscribe to that, please do. Well, by popular demand.
I thought that, I was wondering because I thought it said Top Trends, but I thought this guy was from a different channel, and I'm wondering, like, okay, so now he does have two channels. So yeah, Mega Projects or whatever it was, Mega Trends. I don't know what he just said, but that's his other channel, so go check that out too. Very good content.
I wanted to cover some things on that channel that weren't quite mega enough for it, so I present to you a new channel called Side Projects, which is no longer that new, but hey, here we are. It covers
It's called Top Trends now, so he must have changed the channel name at some point.
secret Soviet space weapons, World War II's greatest airplanes, history's lost treasures, and the movement of London Bridge from London to a random town in America. Stuff like that. New videos 3 times a week on Side Projects. So if you were thinking
the London Bridge was moved to America? I'm gonna have to check into that. That's interesting. I did not know that.
don't get enough videos from me, well, problem solved. There is a link below.
Problem
solved, The European Union is as suspicious as ever when it comes to foodstuffs containing chemicals, unnatural dyes, and meat treated with synthetic growth hormones. Since 1981, the EU has had stringent rules for the importation of food to its markets, and those rules have only gotten stricter with time. In 1989, it banned as many as 6 growth hormones, launching a trade dispute which has lasted 30 years and counting. In 2003, it permanently banned 1 synthetic growth hormone while provisionally banning 5 others, and a whole host of dyes, chemicals, and preservatives are persona non grata in the EU as well. From hard-shelled candy delights, milk, dyed salmon, and beef and pork treated with all kinds of hormones.
Yeah, I've heard this too, that there's a lot of chemicals here that just it wouldn't fly in Europe. They would not allow their people to eat that. Kind of makes you wonder, I don't know, is the cancer rate higher in the United States because of all this weird banned, this stuff that's banned in Europe that we're still eating? Is it hurting us? Maybe I'll check into that.
Here are 10 foods banned in parts of the European Union
10
that are
things
not banned in the United States.
Before we get started, check this bad boy out. That's right, custom-made hockey jersey. I know you're scoping it out. DIYOJ.com sent me this jersey. They're like, hey, do you want a free jersey? And I'm like, okay, yeah. Also, you guys get a 10% off code. I'll have a link down below for that. I got the channel name, the captain's patch right there, the channel logo, and on the back, check this out. It's got my name and the number 21, well, here on the sleeve. That's for the year I started my channel, because it was August 7th, 2021. They have all sorts of stuff, guys. Jerseys, hoodies. If you're not even a sports person, check this out. You can get graffiti pattern. How cool is that? You can put your name, any number you want. Go to DIYOJ.com and you get 10% off your order by using coupon code CharlieVest. So back to the content. We're going to check out the foods that are banned in Europe, but not the USA.
Skittles. While not banned in the entire EU, Skittles are banned in Sweden and Norway for containing yellow dye number 5 and 6. In most parts of the EU, all that's required of the Wrigley Company, a division of Mars Inc., is to include a disclaimer suggesting that the candy could cause adverse health effects and hyperactivity. Still,
it's okay for us to eat it, though. Maybe that's why I'm so hyper, huh? Been eating too many yellow Skittles.
It's thought that these dyes can cause allergic reactions in some people, and FDA tests have shown that red dye 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6 all contain cancer-causing agents like benzodine and 4-aminobiphentyl, and the levels released in the body could be much higher than the FDA is reporting, thanks to the fact that routine tests tend to find less of these cancer-causing carcinogens than when they actually pass through the colon. Still, we've never heard of anyone in the US being hospitalized after eating Skittles, but maybe that's just what they want you to think. Number 9.
But long-term damage, though, right? It's not going to send you to the hospital. I'm sure it's not going to be an initial thing, but like over long-term, I don't know. Could it give you some weird cancer?
RBGH or RBST milk. The main reason
What is that?
cited by the European Union for banning both recombinant bovine growth hormone and its synthetic counterpart, recombinant bovine somatotropin, RBST, officially is due to animal cruelty concerns, but there may be other adverse health effects linked to the use of these hormones. Both RBGH and RBST have been tenuously linked to the developments of certain cancers. In addition to that, the FDA found that further study would have to be conducted to determine the impact these hormones would have on the liver and other organs. But in addition to the potential adverse health effects of RBGH in humans, cattle treated with the growth hormone are more likely to come down with a nasty case of mastitis, inflammatory reaction in the udder tissue caused by infection from microorganisms.
Mastitis, huh? Okay, it shows right here what it is.
As a result of this disease, cattle in the US are treated with antibiotics, eliminating mastitis infections, but potentially causing other problems further down the line. Although the World Health Organization is primarily concerned about the over-reliance and overuse of antibiotics in humans, claiming that this could lead to the evolution of a superbug, 90% of antibiotics consumed aren't taken by humans.
They're taken by animals, but then the humans consume the products from the animals, and then that gets in our system too.
Fed to otherwise healthy animals. And experts warn that this could lead to our livestock essentially becoming superbug factories. As the bacteria they harbor become more and more resistant to antibiotics, it's only a matter of time before these traits get passed on to bacteria that are harmful to humans. Number 8.
Superbug factories, he says. Wow. Papaya, corn, and soy. You guys got corn. Come on now. Don't tell me you don't have corn in Europe.
Papaya, corn, and soy. The genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, used in vegetables and fruit in the US have allegedly been linked to some nasty health problems.
Right.
However, whether this is actually the case, we just don't know. While it is true that the US treats its produce and fruit with GMOs to make them more resistant to different diseases, and this can be largely beneficial, more research does need to be conducted in order to determine which of these is harmful to humans. Unlike the US and the FDA, the EU takes a far more cautious approach when it comes to approving GMOs, meaning that they must pass rigorous tests and environmental monitoring before they are deemed safe for consumption by citizens in their countries.
Why don't we just stop messing with food? Why don't we just let food be the way food's been for a couple thousand years? Why do we got to be gene splicing and modifying stuff and causing weird diseases? And I don't understand.
However, even their system is not perfect. Recently, a batch of GMO-treated papaya began circulating through EU-controlled markets. The culprits appear to be farmers in Thailand who mass-produced GMO-treated.
So it's not papaya, corn, and whatever. It's just the GMOs that's in it.
Markets. The culprits appear to be farmers in Thailand who mass-produced GMO-treated crops. Number 7. Breads containing Azodicarbonamide.
Azodicarbonamide. I never even heard of that. It's probably in my stuff. It's probably in the bread I ate this morning.
Azodicarbonamide, ADA for short, is a chemical used to bleach breads in order to increase their shelf life. Recently, companies like Subway, McDonald's, and other fast food restaurants have come under fire for using this chemical.
Yeah, so it probably definitely was in that bread that I ate. It was pretty white.
ADA is also the chemical that allows bubbles to form inside foams and plastics like vinyl. The EU banned ADA because of its potential harmful effects on human health. Both potassium bromate's a chemical used in bread that helps it rise in the oven, and ADA have been linked to kidney and thyroid cancers in rats.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Wow.
China, Brazil, and the European Union have all banned the use of this chemical in their breads, well, why haven't the US? The fact of the matter is that the FDA just doesn't think it's dangerous. After multiple studies, it's ruled that it's not harmful in humans. The question you have to ask yourself is, well, which research do you trust more, and why? Number 6.
Yeah, so if everybody else is saying it's harmful for humans, then why are they saying, like, no, it's not? Profits? They don't care? Population control? Like, I don't know what the deal is with that. Chlorine washed chicken. That doesn't even sound good. Like, what do you want for dinner tonight? Well, I got a hankering for some chlorine washed chicken. That's what I want.
Chlorine washed chicken. Chlorine plays many roles in the industrialized world. It's a powerful tool for cleaning water supplies which otherwise might become contaminated and lead to the development of cholera when ingested, a disease which is extremely fatal if left untreated. But it's also used to clean other things, like chicken. Chlorine washed chicken means just that, chicken that's been washed with chlorinated water. According to most websites devoted to chicken and all things related to chicken, it's the internet, of course these websites exist, chlorine washing is a food safety practice which helps keep harmful bacteria from growing on poultry. But while the EU doesn't think that washing your poultry in chlorinated water will lead to adverse health effects, they do think it's a method of covering up poor hygiene practices. This understandably has made US exporters incredibly angry, as it's a decision not based in scientific evidence, but rather on paranoia. Number
I could see that.
5. Instant mashed potatoes. While the FDA will argue otherwise, the preservatives butylated hydroxyanazole, BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene found in instant mashed potatoes, and pretty much every single packaged food you buy in the US, have been known to cause some cancers in rats. They're also known
I eat instant mashed potatoes all the time. Now I'm worried.
to impair blood clotting when consumed in high quantities, among other symptoms like hyperactivity. BHA and BHT are used primarily to prevent foods from excreting oils. This prevents them from going rancid and extends their shelf life. And you can probably
My face is always oil. Maybe I need to eat more of that so I stop excreting oils. No, but man, I can't wait to move to Europe, move to the Netherlands. I'm going to be healthier just being there. Just the food in general is going to be less toxic on my body, I think.
excreting oils. This prevents them from going rancid and extends their shelf life. And you can probably guess what the European Union did about this. If you guessed that they outright banned them, then congratulations, you are correct. The strange thing about the situation is that the FDA admits that BHA and BHD are probably a bit carcinogenic in nature. The FDA certified these food additives as GRAs, generally recognized as safe, but this just means that they're only regarded as safe up until a certain amount is consumed and never underwent pre-market review. Number 4.
Okay, so they're testing one little piece, not not caring that somebody's going to eat the whole bag or eat the whole whatever, amount of that product. And then it's going to go past that point of being okay.
Mountain Dew. You might be surprised to learn that your favorite lemon lime soda may contain a chemical typically used in a flame retardant, and this is an ingredient that has been banned in over 100 countries.
Flame retardants? What? I mean, I don't drink Mountain Dew a lot, but sometimes it's okay. Not my favorite drink, but flame retardants? Why is that in there?
The FDA tested the ingredients in Mountain Dew and found that they lacked enough conclusive data on one of its main ingredients, brominated vegetable oil, to decide whether or not it was safe to consume, although it's still labeled as GRAS. Of course, across the pond, it's a different story. Because it competes with iodine for receptor sites in the body, high levels of brominated vegetable oil in humans can lead to thyroid problems, autoimmune diseases, and potentially cancer. In fact, bromine is considered a toxin. Although brominated vegetable oil is still legal in the United States, Pepsi and Coke decided to remove the ingredient from their soft drinks after public backlash.
Okay, well, I've had one recently and it didn't taste any different than it did before. So if you can do without it, then why in the world did you put it there in the first place if it doesn't need to be there? I don't understand.
3. Farmed salmon. Eating salmon has all kinds of health benefits, but people consuming anything other than freshwater or organic salmon might be consuming a harmful carcinogen. The European Union has outright banned farm-raised salmon for good reason. So what exactly separates farmed salmon from freshwater salmon? Well, that's the fact that salmon that are raised on farms are typically fed an unnatural diet of grain, antibiotics, and other drugs that leave their meat an unhealthy-looking gray. Propagators of farm-raised salmon use a chemical known as astaxanthin to dye the unhealthy gray away. You're probably guessing astaxanthin has been banned in the EU due to health concerns, and you'd be right. What's more is that freshwater salmon growing up on natural food sources retains a vibrant pink quality. Number 2. US pork. Pigs in the United States are typically given food laced with rack
US pork. So it's not pork, it's US pork. That's where it's illegal. And I've heard this one because I guess in Europe, sorry, I'm plugging in my tablet that I use to control my OBS. It was dying on me. Pork in the European Union and stuff, in Germany and stuff, I heard that they can eat it raw and minced. So it's like they'll mince it with like raw onion. And I was like, man, you can't do that here. Evidently, there's like weird stuff in our meat and our pork, so you can't do that, but you can over there. So that's probably why the US pork is banned.
Ractopamine, a growth to US pork. Pigs in the United States are typically given food laced with ractopamine, a growth promotion drug which helps animals remain lean. The drug basically mimics the effects of stress hormones, allowing for the production of more meat while keeping feed consumption relatively low. So what might be the problem with this? Well, the company that produces
Well, everything's probably a problem with it. Leave the animals alone. Just feed them normal food. Come on.
The drug Elanco did their own testing on the drug, and this might be a decent indicator that some corners might have been cut. Shortly after the FDA approved the drug for use in American pork products, farmers began reporting that more and more pigs became non-ambulatory, which is a fancy way of saying that they can't stand or walk. These pigs tend to get treated very poorly in US.
They can't stand what?
The drug for use in American pork products, farmers began reporting that more and more pigs became non-ambulatory, which is a fancy way of saying that they can't stand or walk. These pigs
Can't stand the war. Maybe, I don't think I heard him right, but
tend to get treated very poorly in US slaughterhouses, getting trampled and dragged by workers and electrically shocked by cattle prods in a cruel effort to get them moving again. More than 218,000 pigs are recorded as having this condition. The FDA accused Elanco of withholding information. But despite this news, the drug is still allowed in the US. All that's changed is a big old disclaimer listing the drug's side effects. On this one, we can't really blame the EU for banning it. Sometimes being cautious pays off. Number 1.
yeah, man. US, wow. And US beef also. Our beef sucks too. Dang. I already knew, but that's crazy. This country, man.
US beef. Much like the EU's reasoning on banning US-sourced milk, meat sourced from cattle raised on growth hormones cannot be imported to the European Union. Believe it or not, this decision has resulted in a long-standing trade dispute between the US and the EU, lasting 30 years and counting. Unlike milk, however, the ban on US beef extends to 6 different growth hormones, with estradiol being permanently banned and 5 others provisionally banned. This has resulted in US retaliation in the form of tariffs on selected food imports from the EU, an action that the EU is heavily criticized. Not all US beef is banned in the EU, though. Just recently, a deal was reached to allow a certain market share for companies looking to export organic beef, but the tariffs do remain.
Yeah, organic, because they don't have all those weird chemicals.
The US claims that the EU's decision is not based on scientific evidence and that they're not treating farms that use synthetic growth hormones fairly. So I really hope you found that video interesting.
All right, guys. Well, that was that. If you enjoyed this reaction, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe. If you want to check out this jersey, or get one made yourself, this is like an ice hockey jersey. They got all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. 10% off. Use HappyRun as your coupon code. The information will be down below. Anyways, take care, guys. Have a super fun, awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, later.